I got a hundred. I'm from New York, New York. And you know I'm all about big chips, cause baby, I'm from New York, New York. I'm from the city of the terrorists. Yes, I'm from New York, New York. I got a hundred. I'm from New York, New York. And I know. Yep, this is Uchi the Wally, your monologues getting tired. Now it's time to ride. Print this, you five, you no longer desire. So take off them silly chains, put back on your wire. I'm on fire, highly dipped in octane. Let East Coast, let West Coast. And Rue gon' bring the ghetto gospel to every hood possible. Pushing through in the sky blue, back with the God you now. Preferably the 4 pound, flying at the speed of sound. Trying to catch the ears of this running their mouths. I might get my Brooklyn to run in your house. I don't really understand what the running's about, but we hunters, we take pride in airing our prey out, leaving them laid out just for sport.
Good morning, everybody.
Up here in New York,
I got a hundred. I'm from New York, New York. And you can tell the way the homies spit. That I'm from New York, New York. I got 100 ways to make a grip. Yes, I'm from New York, New York. And you can tell I get real ignorant. Cause I'm from New York, New York. And this is how we do. I can see the in your nose. This ain't a movie, even he.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I am starting my morning off with my New York music. Shout out to the New York Knicks. Shout out to the New York Knicks. Good morning. Good morning. If you are just now coming in, please hit that like, share, and subscribe. I am from New York, and shout out to the winning New York Knicks who are on their way to the finals. The first time in like 20 something years. So shout out to them. If you are now just getting here, please hit that like, share, and subscribe. And welcome to Politics in Plain English. Hey, Rainy. Welcome to Politics in Plain English, where we talk about current events, what's happening, why it's happening, and what it actually means. I am running just a little bit late today. It took me a second to get going. I was trying to find a few clips, some things. Did I even share my own self out? I don't even know if I shared my own self out. Let me take a look here. Did I share my own self out? I did. I shared my own self out. But good morning. It is another rainy day, which is why you still see the braids and the hat on my head. It is rainy. It is humid, but we are alive. We are alive. Happy Wednesday. It is hump day. It is 10:06 a.m. on the East Coast. Glad you are here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to spend a little time with me. And as you can see, we did make it outside today. And remember, I was telling you guys that I was waiting on furniture to be delivered yesterday, which is why I was home. And guess what? That even got delayed yesterday, but it's supposed to be there today. So I left a note on my door that said, hey, Kaios, that said, please use as signature, because I had things to do. I had things to do today. I had things to do today. So yeah, we are here. I hope everybody is doing great. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe. Talk amongst yourselves, and let's get this show started. So first things first, let's talk about this economy. Okay, let's talk about this economy that we have here. Right now, as you can see right here, it is showing you the most expensive states, most expensive gas in the states that they're in. Of course, California is always going to be top of the list. I'm surprised New York is not on this list. But this was done by AAA. California is sitting at a whopping $6+ Washington is $578. Hawaii, Oregon, Alaska, Nevada, Illinois, Arizona, Colorado, Ohio, Michigan, and Idaho. One thing about gas prices, they don't discriminate whether you are a red state, a blue state, or a purple state. They don't care, right? So the gas prices are still on the rise as we have a grifter in chief that keeps throwing out insults and keep, this Iran choice war going on. Okay. We have this Iran choice war going on. And there is probably no signs for it to end because remember I told y'all that Is Not Real is really the ones that's running this show. Remember when I told y'all Is Not Real is really running the show, right? I want y'all to take a look at this here. Is Not Real is really running this show. And the reason why we cannot get a deal with Iran has nothing to do with Iran. It has everything to do with Is Not Real. Just take a listen here. And this is why our gas prices will continue to be where they are. And we have further evidence that it's going to be this way for 3 years. Just take a listen.
השר בן גביר, האם אתה חושב שהסכם רע לישראל, כמו שטראמפ עלול להביא לאיראן, יפגע בגוש הימין בבחירות הקרובות?
קודם כל יש דבר, מה שנקרא, שהוא הדבר האמיתי, זה חיי אדם. הסכם רע למדינת ישראל יכול לפגוע בחיי אדם. אני יודע שראש הממשלה נתניהו.
So if you see the subtitles, he says the state of Israel can harm human life. And I know the Prime Minister Netanyahu.
וכולנו, כחברי קבינט, גם קבינט
and all of us as members of the cabinet, both small cabinet
מצומצם, גם קבינט רחב, גם כממשלת ישראל,
and of Israel,
לא ניתן לדבר הזה לקרות.
to happen. Meaning he cannot allow an Iran deal to happen. We are not running this show. Good morning, Miss Vegas, baby. Meaning we cannot allow the United States of America to make a deal with Iran. And again, I keep telling you guys that Donald Trump is not the one that is in charge here. Donald Trump is not the one that is in charge, and our gas prices are going to be where they are for the foreseeable future. They just are. They're going to be where they are for the foreseeable future. And we have economists that are also letting us know why. So we're going to be moving around a little bit today, guys. We're going to be moving around. We're just going to be moving around, okay? So just follow me here. We're going to be moving around a little bit. So on CNN, they are talking about how it's going to take us about 2+ years to repair the energy infrastructure. And what actually needs to happen for the prices to go down. Okay? Energy infrastructure and what really needs to happen for the prices to go down. And just take a listen at this. And this is how you know we do not have smart people running this country. We only have greedy people that are running this country. And yet this will be something that will take so much to undo what this man has done. So just take a listen.
So how long is it going to be before we actually start to see some relief? Look at this. This is where we were before the war started. This is where we...
So you see right here where we were before the war started, and he's going all the way out to 2032. Okay. He's at 2026 and he's going all the way out to 2032, January.
Are right now. There's a huge amount of time that it's going to take, according to the futures market, before we get back down to that sub $70 an oil level. Look at this, 2032. So you want $3 gas again, you're going to have to wait maybe 6 years. And so what does that mean for everything? Look at this. Produce, clothing, airfare, gas, shipping, all of these rely on high gas prices, high oil prices. All of them are going to continue to be more expensive as long as this lasts.
I'm sorry, did I hear you correctly? Did you say 2032?
Yeah. So if you look,
even the reporter was like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me 2032 before we can see $3 gas again? And he also showed here What else will not go down? Airfare, clothing, shipping, produce. Because what? Airfare takes gas. To get our clothes into our store, it has to be shipped either by the air, and then once it gets to land, what has to happen? It has to be put in some type of truck to get to the store. So all of these things are going to be affected, because if it's costing stores more to get the item to them, that difference is then, the burden is then going to become on the consumer to make up that difference.
Say 2032.
Yeah, so if you look at this, this tells you what the oil market is predicting prices will be in the future. We don't get back down to this level until 2032. That's the prediction. We'll see if that ends up being the case. But
so this is why it matters who you put in office. This is why it matters who you put in office. And this is why, we're playing a short game here. Donald Trump is playing a losing game here. He is such a loser. And there's no objective that is being achieved at all. There's no objective that is being achieved at all. So much so that even his own party, his own Republican party, is infighting and imploding on him as we speak. Even his own party is imploding. Even $4 sound good, because it's almost $5 here in Charlotte. It's close. So even his own party is imploding on him as we speak. So this is why they're in an uphill battle for the midterms, and we're going to get in the midterms in a second. But take a look at this.
We're talking about a complete collapse of the floor. Look at this. Republicans' net approval of Trump on inflation. You go back when he was running for re-election back in 2024 for term number 1. Look at that net approval rating. It was plus 6.
His net approval rating was plus 68. Plus 68.
68 points in terms of how Republicans viewed inflation and Trump in term number 1. Look at this. Look at this. Collapse. Minus 5 points. Now, this is just the Ipsos polling.
This is just the GOP polling. This is not a whole picture. This is literally his own party. This is literally his own party. This is his own party saying, we gotta go. But this is also what they voted for. And guys, real quickly, I have pinned my wish list link. It's pinned at the top to help me build my library that I'm building. I know some of you have already purchased some items off of there. I appreciate it so much, but it is pinned at the top if you want to support there. I don't think any book is over like $25, $28. But anyway, this is what they voted for. And they don't like it because, see, they thought that they weren't going to have higher gas. As long as it was happening to other people, they were okay. As long as they weren't being touched and other people were being damaged and hurt, they were fine with it. But see, that's not the way that it works. We can't have one side of town saying, oh, but only you can't have a card that says if you're Black, your gas prices are going to be high. Hey, that's not how it works. But just look at these numbers.
Oh, no. But look at this. Even in Fox, he was at minus 2 points. So it's not alone. He is on the wrong side of the ledger. And this is not voters overall. Let me remind you, this is Republican voters.
That means he's at a negative 73 approval rating. Negative 73. That means he dropped. Can you imagine having a 70-point drop in something? This means your game plan is not working for you. His own party is not behind him, even though I think if they had a chance to vote for him again, they would. That's just me. I don't feel sorry for him, but anyway.
That call absolutely coming from inside the House on the key issue of inflation. There are now multiple polls showing that Donald John Trump is underwater within his own Republican Party.
That's a 73-point swing. I just did the math right now.
That is 70 and 3, and I actually drew that pretty gosh darn well.
All right, Harry, the phone is ringing.
Hello.
And someone's calling about gas prices.
Yes.
Who's calling and what are they saying?
It's Republicans who are calling again, and they are saying that they are underwater again when it comes to this particular issue. Look at gas prices. Okay, GOP, Trump net approval on fuel and gas prices. You go back to last summer, look at this. It was plus 51. Look at it now, minus 4. Again, what are we talking about here? We're talking about a 55-point shift away from the president of the United States on the key issue of gas prices. So on, again, something that is impacting Americans day to day, inflation, a part of that is gas prices. Of course, the inflation on gas prices has been out of control. The president of the United States is underwater on the key issue of gas prices. This isn't just something about the center of the electorate. This is with Donald Trump's base as well. This is a huge shift. He's underwater again, the floor.
He's underwater. He is underwater. Okay. And this is why we're seeing this. So down in Idaho, 8 of their gang of 8, their own party primary, none of them won. Because we are in primary season. Absolutely none of them won. Because they are sick and tired of the chaos. Okay. Folks are voting them out. 9 of Idaho's hardest right Republicans just lost their party's primary, meaning they wiped them out. And what's happening, the people that are winning these Republican primaries are backed by Donald Trump. And we see what happens when Donald Trump backs somebody. They don't win. They have a short-term win for a long-term loss. They do not win. They absolutely do not win. Because it's the economy, stupid. It is the economy. They do not win when he keeps when whoever he backs is placed somewhere. It may be short term, but long term, they do not win. Long term, they do not win because also they're pulling junkie stunts. You guys got to see this. They're pulling junkie stunts like this. Okay, Miss Vegas, drive safe. They're pulling junkie stunts like this. So remember Kim Paxton, who's the Attorney General for Texas, who just won the primary against John Cornyn. Okay. Trump is backing Paxton. Right? Paxton also, pure junkie stunts, Heavy Bear, pure junkie stunts. This man, do y'all see the picture of the guy that's in there? He raped a friend's son. Y'all heard it right. Remember yesterday we seen the footage of MAGA saying what's so wrong with having sex. Hey, Peter Brown. Having sex with minors or raping minors. What's so wrong with that? Remember, we saw that footage yesterday. And if you missed it, please go watch it. Yesterday, we had a good old time yesterday. This guy, John Paxton, who is now running for senator in Texas. This man, they gave Adam Hoffman a plea deal where they only wanted him to spend 1 day in prison. This is a man that Donald Trump has endorsed. Y'all don't see these junkie stunts that they be doing? Like, come on. Come on. Here, look. He he ended up getting sentenced to 60 days. Mind you, this offense was a first-degree felony. It was supposed to be life without parole. Ken Paxton steps in and gutted it to 60 days. Can you imagine someone who has raped your son? He raped his son's best friend for 3 years. Adam Hoffman did. He gets out 30 days later. No sex offender registration. His record is scrubbed clean. This is who Donald Trump backs. There's an issue here. There's a really disgusting issue here. And we can't continue to ignore the fact that these folks love to touch on little kids. They are predators. They are predators. You know who else is a predator, and I don't care what they say? They're always backing the most disgusting, the most delusional folks ever. We have, ladies and gentlemen, RFK, who is now claiming circumcised boys get autism. This is the same person that has said Black children need to be reparented and placed on a farm because they have too much ADHD. This is the same person who said Tylenol is responsible for autism. But see, here's the problem with that argument. I never took Tylenol. I didn't take any medication while carrying my child. I actually did not even eat fast food. I ate farm to table food. I didn't drink any sodas. I was on a chai tea diet. I drank chai tea and I drank water. I drank a gallon of water a day. But here's the issue with it. Aleve, store brand Tylenol, Advil, aspirin, all of these have the same ingredients. So you come out and you say the brand Tylenol caused this, but what about Aleve that has the same ingredients in this? There's no proven fact for only the CDC to then withdraw that statement and say that that is also not the case. Now this man is back on this. It's always something about children, special needs children they're also fixated on. So take a listen to him talking about circumcision, where we know circumcision is far healthier and cleaner, right? But just listen. Oh, hold on.
2 studies that show children who are circumcised early have double the rate of autism. And it's highly likely because they're given Tylenol. So,
it's highly likely because they're given Tylenol. We're back on this, and if I was Tylenol's lawyer, there would be a lawsuit. You are damaging my brand. I know plenty of circumcised males who aren't autistic.
This is positive, but all of it is stuff that we should be paying attention.
This is also coming from a man who snorted coke off of a toilet. This is also coming from a man whose family has disowned him. This is also coming from a man who has a voice box that sounds like it's been on coke since the age of 2.
But, there's a tremendous amount of...
And then this uneducated bastard. Oh, I'm going to be raw today. This uneducated bastard then wants to chime in, and we know he doesn't read. We know he doesn't read anything. He probably doesn't know how to read, actually. We know that this man, he wants to call the Democrats the Democrats and keep saying, and the guy who spelled rhino, R-I-N-O, this guy.
Of proof or evidence, I would say, as a non-doctor, but I've studied this.
Good morning, John Diva.
Two studies that showed children who are circumcised early have double the.
This is a man who is not a licensed board doctor. He has no type of licensure whatsoever. This is the first time ever that someone that is the head, normally this is for a doctor, a board certified doctor position. Yet again, pulling shit out their ass that doesn't even make sense. I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired of these crazy people. But yet again, he appoints all the best people, right? He appoints all the best people. He appoints all the best people so much. We also ended up with these two guys. So guys, you see Stephen Nazi Miller on the left side of your screen, who absolutely hates Black and brown people, but mind you, his wife is not completely white. And we have Vance Pants that wears eyeliner to the right, whose wife is also not white. Stephen Miller is the one that created this mass deportation. He wants to whitewash America. I want you guys to listen to him talk about hungry children and how they don't need to eat. These are the folks that have been placed in office, and this is why the administration's numbers are tanking. This is why anyone who has hitched their wagon to this dumpster pile are not winning their elections, are getting voted out, are getting ostracized, will not know peace. Because instead of going for what was right and ethical, they're deranged. But listen at this man talk about hungry kids, and please tell me if you guys don't find a problem with this.
Most welfare works in most states and most places is we take your word for it. If you thought a piece of paper and you say your kids are hungry, you are going to get food stamps. We don't check as a country if you even have kids. In fact, as basic as that. We don't even check if you even have children. You will just start getting the checks. And so what's happened to our country is...
That is categorically false. That is categorically false. They do check if you have children, because guess what you have to provide? You have to provide extensive information about your child in order to get it. But I digress.
We became a society, as we've seen with the Somali refugee problem in Minnesota, where you have a large number of people that are not following the honor system. They're not playing by the rules. They're not.
And he wants to talk about following the honor system, meanwhile denying people of due process. This guy right here wants to talk about an honor system and is denying citizens, because it's in the Constitution, due process.
Abiding by our laws. And the amount that has been fleeced from us is in the hundreds of billions of dollars. I believe, based on what I've seen and what I've heard, is that We could balance the federal budget if the only dollars that went out of the Treasury.
They want to balance the budget by worrying about the small, y'all, SNAP benefits is such a minuscule, like it's such a small amount. Meanwhile, the top 1% got permanent tax cuts. He wants to redo the reflection pool. He is adding, because we're going to get to this. He tore down the East Wing. He is adding a UFC fighting ring. Wants to build a ballroom. He is flying to his resorts to where the taxpayers have to pay for him to go to his own resorts, because we also have to pay for Secret Service, transportation, all of these things. And this guy wants to talk about balancing the budget by starving children.
Went to individuals who were properly, lawfully, correctly eligible to receive them. And that ultimately is going to be what we have to do as a country. In the meantime,
even JD Vance has this crazy look on his face. Like, what are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about, dude?
because of the vice president's leadership, you are seeing the most muscular, robust, aggressive, dedicated, determined, and speedy effort to shut down criminal fraud that has not only ever occurred in the history of this country, but in any developed nation.
Shut down criminal fraud. This guy wants us to shut down criminal fraud. Meanwhile, they're building this. But they're building this, folks. Do y'all guys see this? They want to shut down criminal fraud, but meanwhile, they're building this. Make it make sense. Do you want to know what this is? This is a UFC ring, P branch. This is a UFC fighting ring that they are building on the property of the White House, the People's House. A UFC fighting ring. Our tax-paying dollars are paying for this thing. They want to talk about fraud, but meanwhile, they're in there removing January 6th press releases. Yes, it's crazy, ain't it? They're trying to remove the insurrections because Trump's DOJ says they are proud to remove press release information about the January 6th criminals, but they want to scrub out fraud. This administration is they want to scrub out all the bad guys, right? They want to scrub out the bad guys. And Stephen Miller, who you guys just saw, Pete's somebody that just used to work with him. He is a racist bigot. Stephen Miller is very racist, but they want to get out fraud. Take a listen.
How racist is the movement?
It's pretty racist.
That's what I mean. I think it's just, would you say that's at the epicenter of it?
You know, I have text from Stephen Miller where he's like, we need white boy November. Oh, yeah.
You have text from Stephen Miller?
He used to text me every day during the election. He's like, share this. Every time I've seen him, he's sitting down at the bar with a drink. So
he's sitting down at the bar with a drink. Doesn't that sound familiar? Pete Hegseth is a drunk. Kash Patel is a drunk. This is someone who used to work in, she said she used to get text messages from Stephen Miller talking about we need white boys. Anyway.
don't know.
But what would he text you? We need what?
White Boy November. He's like, we need the white boys. This is going to be White Boy November. Like,
This is going to be White Boy November.
he's just a loser. And so, like, he's begging me for retweets. He's like, we need to get
Wait, hold on. So that guy is reaching out to you to reach.
Oh, yeah. I think they're just hateful racists.
I think they're just hateful racists. We know that they are hateful racists. We know that for a fact. That's why the deportations were even brought up, because they want to, quote unquote, take this country back. They want this country to be theirs. They want Black people, brown people, to not Asian people. They don't want you here. Right. But they want to become rich off of your labor, though. They want us back taking care of their children and cotton picking and being told what to do and being in concentration camps with no type of human rights. That's what they want. They want to abolish the 14th Amendment, which is your citizenship. Because if they can abolish your 14th Amendment, they can send us wherever they see fit. Because at that point, it will be lawful. They will drum up some law that will allow them to knock on doors like during Hitler days and snatch us out and put us in concentration camps and eventually try to extinct anyone who does not look like them. But mind you, they cannot survive without us. Because if everything was taken away from them that Black and brown people have invented, nothing on this earth would really exist. Nothing on this earth would exist. Nothing on this earth would exist. And I'm going to give you guys a closer look at this crazy ass thing that they're building up here. I just want to I want to give you a closer look at what your tax-paying dollars are going to. But yet they want to weed out fraud. They would rather take money from SNAP because Trump wants to have a birthday showdown. UFC showdown for his birthday. And yes, he's turning 80 years old, 20 years away from 100. And they're going to give 85,000 free tickets. And how much do you want to bet that somehow, some way, because this ballroom is not being built, that somehow, some way, there's another assassination attempt? How much do you guys want to bet that there will be another one of these? Because every single time there's another plant that is placed out there to claim that someone is trying to knock his head off. And it is someone that is trying to knock his head off, and is Iran. How much of you want to bet? And they want to talk about safety and security, having 85,000 free tickets given away where you don't know who you're giving those tickets to. How are you going to do security clearance when Jared Kushner, who is actually your son-in-law, can't even pass a security clearance? That is why there is a shadow government being ran. And this is another reason why Iran is pissed. And Iran said, we will not deal with Jared Kushner, because over there in the UAE, they gave Jared Kushner $200 million. And they have not gotten a return on their investment. But instead of us figuring out how to get our troops out of Iran, how to balancing the deficit, how to get food in stores for a better price, how to fix the economy, how to figure out a robust job influx, how to make our air cleaner. What do we do about AI? How can we put stipulations on AI so it is not zapping jobs away? We are doing this. We are giving away 85,000 tickets for an 80-year-old man's birthday celebration at the White House for UFC Showdown on the White House property, but yet he's in such danger all the time. That was their justification for wanting to build the ballroom. But don't you think that this is putting the danger right at the feet of the White House? Child, you can't make this shit up. Yeah. And I just want you guys to be advised of the economy. And I want you guys to take a look at each president when we've been in recession and when we've been in the green. If you notice, there is a trend. Democrats make a better economy, Republicans crash it. Democrats make a better economy, Republicans always crash it. And it's here in the history books. Numbers don't lie. Men lie, people lie. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie. They crash it. And since we're speaking about crashing shit, this Iran war, not only is it tanking the economy, it is also killing our soldiers. It is also killing our soldiers. Just this morning, USS Abraham, I think that's which one it is, got struck. Please take a look. Watch this. Trigger warning. This is going to be violent.
Move, go! Head for the rail!
Watch the jet!
Keep going! He's coming! Man overboard!
He's in the water!
Throw a ring now! On it!
Keep your heads down!
This is what is going on overseas. Our men and women are being blindly sent over there with no real plan of anything. And they are being sent in a live minefield and being blown up because guess who is telling them where our ships and things are? Russia. I want you guys to see it again. Just watch it again. Just take a look.
Move, go! Head for the rail!
Watch the jet!
Keep going! Keep going!
You have men overboard. Because this is an aircraft carrier. What is attached to an aircraft carrier? A destroyer. A destroyer is a smaller boat that protects the aircraft carrier. Right? Aircraft carrier costs a lot of money to build. It is a lot of money to keep it running. Because the aircraft carrier also carries our fighter jets.
Man overboard!
He's in the water!
Man overboard. He's in the water. Man overboard. He is in the water. We have no earthly idea Donald Trump has no earthly idea what he's doing. Pete Hegseth has no earthly idea what he is doing. Stephen Miller has no earthly idea of what he's doing. JD Vance Pence has no idea what he is doing. But what we do know that they're doing, they are killing us. They're killing the military. They're killing the economy. They're killing the school systems. They're killing the insurance industry. They're killing the clean air that you breathe. They're killing the clean water that we have or used to have. They're killing the jobs. They are killing not only the national economy, but they are tanking the global economy. They are spreading hate through this country. They are terrorizing the streets. They are terrorizing other countries.
Go right now, on it! Keep your heads down!
As you can see, this side is blown up too. And as you can see, this piece is about to come tumbling down. But he hires all the best people. This was just today, this morning. It's sick. It makes me sick to my stomach. It really does. And then we have the president over there talking about how if you lower the cost of housing, and make it more affordable, that is actually hurting the value of those houses. And he doesn't want to do anything that hurts the value of those houses because it would destroy people who already has houses. So pretty much they're making everything for 20 and 30 and 40-year-olds so unaffordable because they're trying to line their pockets so that everybody is renting and nobody is owning. That is the long-term play. They are pretty much sacrificing people in their 20s and 30s for the prosperity of boomers. Make it make sense. Even Fox News. This is the only person that I watch on Fox News. Jessica Tarlov. She's always speaking facts. Take a listen.
It'll come down to the details of whatever this is. You know, if they get a deal, is it going to be better, the same, or worse than the JCPOA? That's what it's going to get compared to. I loved the quote from Jesse there about the money.
JCPOA is what Obama put intact, that Donald Trump ripped up and now trying to get back so he can put his name on it.
That would be released to the Iranians, that it denying the fact that it was their money that was being held in Qatari bank accounts when Obama did it, only $1.7 billion, not the huge numbers that people say, versus what's going to happen this time when Donald Trump has to give them some of their money in order to get them to take a deal. And we'll see how it all unfolds. I'm fascinated by Iran saying, we might not toll the strait anymore. There's just going to be a fee that you pay for quote unquote environmental protection, which sounds like you're continuing to toll the Strait of Hormuz. And nobody has yet mentioned the importance of the domestic pressure right now on Donald Trump. The lack of fertilizer that is getting to our country. If you turn on any channel, you'll see interviews with farmers who are saying that it is complete dire straits at this point. We already have a record number of bankruptcies. And so it seems to me, and we'll see what the deal looks like if there is one to be had, Donald Trump needs a midterms deal more than he needs a nuclear deal at this point, and is willing to make a deal and punt some of the more complicated stuff down the road, continue the ceasefire in that respect so that we can deal with $4.50 gas, approval ratings and, in the tank, minus 52 on inflation, minus 24 on foreign policy. You want to say, oh, this is a great solution to all of this. There are a number of conservative supporters of the war who feel like you did in your initial statements, Jesse, that they want actually more firepower. They don't want us to walk away at this point and just have a diplomatic solution. And I'm not sure at this point that Iran actually does think that we are willing to come at them with missiles again, because we've been threatening, nuclear plant day, bridge day, tunnel day, whatever it is, for a long time at this point. And I'm not saying that I want them necessarily to call our bluff, but I'm not sure that they're quaking in their proverbial booties as much as you might think.
Exactly. While Trump is running around here yapping, Iran is ready for whatever. You just saw how our own ships and our military is getting blown the hell up over there, and they're lying about that. We're getting blown up over there. And if you don't believe me, listen to their very own Nick Fuentes, who is speaking, like I always say, a broken clock is right twice a day. And I don't like this guy. He's a racist. I don't like this guy. He's one of the ones that helped Donald Trump get into office and brought so much light to him. But even he is like, okay, just take a listen.
This is an unequivocal strategic defeat for the United States. And it seems like now the retreat is just happening in slow motion. There is obviously this very strong desire for a withdrawal. The United States wants this to be over, but they cannot make it happen without losing face. And that is something maybe they haven't accepted yet. So it's just happening slowly over time. And the reason I say this is because every one of these developments follows the exact same pattern, which is we hear a statement from the president in the press pool or the West Wing or the Oval Office, and they will say something like, Iran wants to make a deal more than anyone knows. We are negotiating with Iran. We are in late stages of a deal. A deal is imminent. They have agreed to all of these things in principle.
Remember, I told you guys, he always says that there is going to be a deal every 2 to 7 days. Why is it every 2 to 7 days? Because it is market manipulation. Also, there's also big purchases that go before he says this, because it's either him or somebody close to him that are benefiting off of the stock market for this. And when this all comes out, whew, my God. But he is right. They want to withdraw, but they can't. And what is happening are men and women of the military getting obliterated over there. Morality is down, and our prices of everything over here are sky high.
Or in spirit. This is always how it starts. How many times have we heard that in the past 60 days? I think we've heard it no fewer than 10 times. We get one of these press gaggles where Trump says those words, they want a deal more than anyone knows. They're begging us for an extension so that a deal might possibly happen. They have made concessions on key issues. He doesn't use those words, but that is what is planted in the press. And then inevitably what follows is the Iranian response, which is they will come back and they will continue to say, as they have since the beginning, these are our terms. Take them or leave them. We're going to control the strait. We're not giving up our nuclear program. We're not giving up our missiles. We're not giving up our proxies. We want money and we want you out of here. And that has been their position. That has been their proposal to end the conflict since the conflict started. And
mind you, they didn't start the conflict. Is Not Real started the conflict and was able to get Shitter in Chief to aid and abet them. Now we are seeing a global, catastrophic economic collapse. And now Iran has the upper hand, because what is also going on simultaneously is midterms are coming. Midterms are coming. And it's going to be hell to pay, because all investigations start in the House. And listen, I don't care about impeaching the motherfucker. What I care about is that we hold these people accountable, and we figure out how to get this train back on the tracks. And we get people in here who are actually going to do something and make something really shake. That's what I care about. Impeaching, we ain't gonna get it unless we take the Senate as well. And that's too much taxpaying dollars to even invest on that, right? Instead, we need to redo the Constitution, extend the Supreme Court, impeach judges, and come up with a great plan so that everyone in America can thrive, not just the 1%, the top 5%, or the 10%. Restructure the insurance. Bring the pieces that Affordable Care Act that were working back. Redo the tax code so it's not so goddamn complicated. And make it so that no other president can be elected who has been convicted of felonies, high crimes, and misdemeanors. Know that there are ethical rules that must be followed, and that a House Speaker such as Little Mike Johnson can maneuver the rules the way that he's been able to maneuver them by consistently sending them on a break so they don't have to vote and do their job. And if they cannot balance the budget, everybody should be fired or not paid. One of the two. Because kicking the can down the road has not worked for us.
Hasn't changed at all. Those have always been the key ingredients. Even since the first ceasefire was promulgated, they said a ceasefire in Lebanon, we want control over the strait and to charge tolls. We're not negotiating over nuclear, and we want U.S. forces to withdraw from the region, whether that's from the bases or at the minimum to pull back the Blue Water Navy that's stationed in the Arabian Sea. That has been Iran's position. And up until this point, going further, Iran has reiterated over and over that the administration is lying about what they are saying. Trump administration says Iran begged for an extension. Iran says never happened. Trump administration says they agreed to give up their nuclear centrifuges. Iran says never happened. And as a matter of fact, we'll never give it up. Trump administration says we are in advanced negotiations, late negotiations. A deal is imminent. Iran says, no, a deal is not imminent. We don't trust you. As a matter of fact, there's not even a basis for negotiations to take place. We don't want to talk anymore. This has been the tempo. This has been the pattern since the very beginning. And I'd like to point out, so these are the critical issues. And I will reiterate, we've talked about this a little bit. Iran is never going to give up control over the strait because that is part of their deterrence against a future U.S. attack. The United States has not achieved any of its strategic objectives in this war. They have not achieved regime change. They have not destroyed Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium, have not destroyed Iran's nuclear complex, have not significantly even degraded Iran's missile capability. They have achieved none of these things.
As you can hear, he is stating out how they have achieved none of these things. None of these things. But you know what they have achieved? You know what they have achieved? Shit like this. Donald Trump's son just had a wedding that Donald Trump did not attend, and we don't even think that he was invited. His son just married the daughter of Jeffrey Epstein's accountant. If this is not what we are talking about, we're playing chess so that folks don't get indicted and can get a pardon. But we don't know Epstein. But we do know that the accountant knows a lot more, and that the accountant and the lawyer has been suspected to have lied under oath. Bettina Anderson is now Bettina Trump, who is the daughter of Epstein's accountant. Mighty funny. Was this an arranged marriage? Because remember, this is the same one that was dating Aubrey O'Day. This was while he was married. So this is what, like his second, third marriage. He's just like his daddy. Or was she groomed too? And you know, they're always backing pedophiles. Everything they do is pedophilia. So much that Trump has endorsed for Arizona's congressional candidate, Mark Lamb. And we are also, him and his wife are swingers. Conservative Family Values Sheriff, who is running for Congress, and wife are swingers. Sources claim. This is him, his wife, and Donald Trump. But these are also people who These are people who profess to be Christians and push off family values. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Wait, whoa. Wait. Wait a minute. Christy, no? This looks familiar, doesn't it, girl? Your husband do the same thing, don't it, girl? Wait a minute. Wait, whoa. Let's back this thing up. Let's take a follow what the looks look like, right? Do those look like man hands? Man knuckles? And what is that white substance going on right there? I need to know. That's some freaky mother. Ooh. She leaking. She's soaking wet. These some nasty mofos. They so nasty. They're so nasty. But I mean, again, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm just saying that man had man hands, didn't he? He had man hands, didn't he? They had man hands, didn't he? But look, but we don't know Epstein. We just different. It's just casual competition. Oh, y'all don't know Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Mighty funny. Mighty funny. We don't know. We you know, I'm gonna do a parody one day and come dressed up like Melania Trump. I am. I'm going to come dressed up like her. Now, that's pretty much all I got for y'all today. But I do want to leave y'all with one thing. Because Marco Foster happens to be absolutely correct with how he tears MAGA a new one. He tears them a new one so much that I had to clutch my pearls because he is right on everything he is saying.
Well, the Trump regime is going after the SPLC, claiming, no, you actually fund the KKK and you fund neo-Nazi groups. It's just this bullshit thing to try to take down any left-of-center organizations. They've gone after Act Blue, which is literally just like the payment processor for Democratic campaigns. That's not a coincidence. They want to take down the whole funding apparatus of the Democratic Party. That's what they want to do. Like, again, anything left of center is evil, is criminal, is terrorist, and they're going to use the power of the state to crush. This is why they go after James Comey, for example, Letitia James. They go after all these innocent people who they know they did nothing wrong, but Trump is doing the political persecution, ironically, as he pretends like he's being politically persecuted. No, bitch, you're just a criminal. You and the entire MAGA movement.
No, bitch, you're just a criminal. I got to bring that back. He is acting like he's... See, here's the thing that I don't understand about these bullies. You can't have it both ways. You can't be the bully and the victim. You got to pick a side. And then when you pick the side, stay there. It's okay for Donald Trump to name call, but then when he gets called out, he wants, oh, they're doing me so wrong. But you did it to begin with, and people responded. Same thing with January 6th. Those were thugs. Those were domestic terrorists. Those were gangbangers. Okay? And now that we should feel sorry because their lives, they've been wreaking havoc because they had to go to jail and they can't work and they... Tough titty.
You're just a criminal. You and pretends like he's being politically persecuted. No, bitch, you're just a criminal. You and the entire MAGA movement, the fucking January 6ers, you are just criminal. That's what it is. And so the ironic reality is the exact opposite of what Trump says. The biggest threat in this world right now is actually, Trump's right. It's not China. It's not. It's MAGA. It's MAGA. MAGA is a fascist, terrorist, imperialist death cult. That's what it is. And when you let them run wild, they destroy absolutely everything in sight. That's something China likes to see. But as an American myself, I'd like to stop the decline. I'd like to reverse this. But they're going to do everything they can in their power to make sure the decline continues and speeds up.
There you have it, folks. There you absolutely have it. There you have it. There you have it, folks. He is speaking truth to power. And shout out to South Carolina Senate. They have revolted and they have effectively killed the proposed congressional map backed by Donald Trump. Also in Alabama, the judges find the 2026 midterm map discriminatory. Okay, because really the judges are the only thing that is helping us right now, for the most part. Not all judges, but for the most part, these judges in your states are the ones that are standing between us and Donald Trump. Y'all better wake up, get active, be in the know. Be in the know. But anyway, guys, that is all that I have for you today. Not much that was really going on in the news. I just wanted to show you some clips of some things that are going on. Let's pray for our soldiers that are out there. That ship did get struck this morning. Guys, if you see, I was very surprised too, King Kyles, but I think they see the tea leaves, because here's what they fail to realize. What they do, we can then do, right? What they do, it opens up the pathway for them to do. And they see that their own party is revolting against them, because people really don't like cheaters. They don't. If you're going to win on your own merit, but let's not cheat, because then they don't want to be labeled as cheaters, even though we know that the Republican Party has been playing dirty for years. Project 2025 just didn't start yesterday. It started when Barack Obama won his presidency. And guys, to all of my supporters, thank you for hitting like, share, and subscribe. Also, look at the pinned comment up there. That is my Amazon wish list for my library books that I am starting in my home. It is my legal library, shall I call it? That's what I'm calling, because it's all things that help build up my mind, and it's going to shape me for law school and shape me to be a better leader, a better Black woman. Okay, so feel free to buy a book. It does not reveal your address. Everything is private. You don't even have to put your real name on it. Or whatever. I don't subscribe to all of that other stuff. I don't want to dig in anybody's life or whatever. Or you can donate by $ The Real K Fit, or you can send a super chat if you would like to help me on this journey to becoming an attorney, a licensed attorney, that is. So I appreciate, there have been some books that have already been purchased. I appreciate you guys for already purchased. They jumped on it yesterday. So I appreciate you guys for that. And yeah, listen, we knew what we were getting with this administration. Let's not be surprised. Oh, thank you, Ebony. I appreciate it, boo. I've heard such good things about it. One of my professors told me to read it. That's why I added it. He told me, and it's one of my professors. He's actually a judge. He was really hard. He kicked my ass this last semester, but in a good way, though. But anyway, remember, guys, keep your head on a swivel. Be educated, right? Don't lose hope. Stay diligent. Check your voter registration. Know who you're voting for, because a lot of states are taking off the R and the D on the voting, on the ballot, so you don't know who you're voting for. So remember, get in the know. Find some local places to donate your time. We don't necessarily have to march in the street to be active, okay? But thank you for coming to see Politics Nation. I said Politics Nation. Lord have mercy, that is not Politics Nation. I'm thinking about, I watch too much NBC. Thank you for coming to Politics in Plain English. Ooh, y'all. I was up late last night. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Enjoy the rest of your day. And y'all be safe out here.